Imagine if the greatest secret to a life of true fulfillment, boundless opportunity, and unwavering success wasn't hidden in ancient texts or exclusive clubs, but lay dormant right inside you. What if I told you that the very same force that inspired people like those Dale Carnegie studied, the quiet power that propelled ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary feats, to influence others, and to overcome seemingly impossible odds, is available to you right now? This isn't about blind optimism or wishing upon a star. It's about harnessing a profound, creative energy that shapes your thoughts, directs your actions, and ultimately builds your reality. In this video, we're going to dive deep into this incredible power, exploring how to awaken it, nurture it, and use it to transform every aspect of your life. We'll share timeless insights that Carnegie himself would applaud, showing you not just what to believe, but how to believe so deeply that your desires manifest. Stick with us until the very end, because the most impactful advice for making this power truly work for you awaits. And if you're ready to start building the life you've always dreamed of, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your journey to an unbreakable faith begins now. Faith as a transformative force, not just mere hope. There exists a widespread misconception, a pervasive misunderstanding regarding the true nature of faith. The majority of individuals erroneously conceive of it as a fragile, ethereal hope, something distant and inherently uncertain. They passively await a miraculous intervention, while simultaneously, in the quiet recesses of their hearts, they diligently cultivate doubts and insidious fears. Yet authentic faith transcends this simplistic notion of mere hope. It embodies an unshakable conviction. It is the absolute certainty that, even without the immediate ability to visualize the final outcome, victory has already been irrevocably sealed in the invisible realm and is merely awaiting the opportune moment for its grand manifestation in the tangible world. As Jesus unequivocally stated in Matthew 17:20, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. This declaration is far more than a beautiful poetic metaphor. It represents a spiritual and mental principle of immense, profound depth. True faith possesses the inherent power to radically alter the most adverse circumstances, to dismantle the most formidable barriers, and to transmute realities that once seemed utterly immutable. Dale Carnegie's teachings, while not directly focused on theological faith, implicitly supported this concept through his emphasis on self-confidence, positive thinking, and the power of conviction. Carnegie's entire philosophy revolved around the idea that by changing our mental attitudes and beliefs, we can fundamentally change our lives and our interactions with others. He observed how individuals who believed in themselves, in their goals, and in their ability to influence others, consistently achieved what seemed impossible to those who doubted. Consider the countless individuals Carnegie studied and mentored, who overcame overwhelming odds, not through brute force, but through an unwavering belief in their purpose and their ability to achieve it. They learned to envision their success, to feel its presence before it materialized, and to act with the certainty of those who had already triumphed, even when the world around them was steeped in skepticism. This is the very essence of the kind of faith that forges new realities. It is not a faith that idly waits for things to happen. It is an active, dynamic faith that constructs, innovates, and inspires. It's the faith of the salesperson who knows they will close the deal, not because of perfect conditions, but because of their conviction and preparation. It's the faith of the speaker who believes in their message and their ability to connect with an audience, transforming fear into compelling presence. This proactive belief, so central to Carnegie's teachings on confidence and persuasion, is fundamentally about the power of an internal conviction to manifest external results. unveiling the genesis of personal limitation. A natural and pertinent question that inevitably arises is, if faith wields such an immense magnitude of power, why do countless individuals remain perpetually ensnared in a cycle of scarcity, paralyzing uncertainty, and debilitating fear? The answer, while deceptively simple in its formulation, is profoundly revealing. The overwhelming majority of people nurture their fears with far greater fervor and diligence than they cultivate their faith. They meticulously plant and tend to thoughts of failure, insecurity, and inadequacy, and it is an immutable truth that whatever seeds are sown and diligently nourished within the mind will, sooner or later, inevitably blossom into full manifestation in one's life. The ancient wisdom found in Proverbs 23:7 sagely warns us, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." This profound insight implies that what you repeatedly ponder and dwell upon solidifies into your core beliefs. These deeply ingrained beliefs, in turn, intricately shape your actions. And your actions, with unwavering precision, construct the very fabric of your reality. Dale Carnegie, in his seminal works, consistently underscored this very principle, albeit often framing it in terms of thought control and mental attitude. He often emphasized that it isn't what you have or who you are or where you are or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about it. This powerful statement perfectly aligns with the idea that our internal landscape dictates our external experience. Carnegie would analogize the mind to a meticulously maintained garden, stating that if you do not plant flowers, weeds will grow there by themselves. This insightful analogy vividly illustrates that if you fail to actively and intentionally cultivate thoughts imbued with faith, with the spirit of conquest, and with the boundless realm of possibility, your mind will, by default, become automatically overrun by the intrusive, noxious weeds of doubt, fear, and crippling limitation. Therefore, the call to action is both clear and urgently pressing. It is absolutely imperative that you assume absolute and unwavering control over the very seeds you choose to sow within the fertile soil of your mind. You must tend to your faith with the same meticulous zeal and fervent dedication with which one cares for a precious, flickering flame, vigilantly protecting it, consistently strengthening it, and ensuring it remains brightly ignited against the relentless onslaught of any adverse wind. This active cultivation of a positive mental attitude, as championed by Carnegie, is not merely a suggestion. It is the fundamental cornerstone upon which a life of genuine achievement and profound contentment is meticulously built. Faith is not ignoring obstacles, it is overcoming them. It is absolutely crucial to grasp that possessing faith does not, by any stretch of the imagination, imply a blissful ignorance of the challenges that inevitably arise. On the contrary, faith is about perceiving beyond the immediate obstacles, recognizing that the present difficulties are merely temporary hurdles, not insurmountable walls. It means confronting adversity head-on, and despite its daunting presence, affirming with an unwavering conviction, "This too shall pass, I will prevail." Faith constitutes the unshakable foundation upon which the grandest and most audacious dreams are meticulously built. It serves as the vital bridge connecting the invisible realm of aspiration with the tangible world of manifestation. It is the silent yet incredibly potent force that subtly but effectively guides the universe in favor of those who dare to profoundly believe. While Dale Carnegie may not have used the term faith in a strictly spiritual sense, his entire philosophy on overcoming worry and building confidence is a practical application of this very principle. Carnegie taught individuals to confront their fears and worries, not by ignoring them, but by analyzing them, preparing for the worst, and then actively focusing on solutions. He believed that action is the great restorer and builder of confidence. And faith, do the thing you fear and keep on doing it. That is the quickest and surest way ever yet discovered to conquer fear. This echoes the idea that faith is not a passive state, but an active engagement with reality, even when it presents difficulties. Consider the countless individuals Carnegie advised who faced overwhelming odds in business, personal life, or public speaking. They weren't told to pretend the problems didn't exist. Instead, they were taught to dissect their challenges, to prepare meticulously, and then to step forward with a renewed sense of confidence, a confidence born not of blind optimism, but of deliberate preparation and belief in their own capabilities. This confidence, akin to faith, allowed them to persist where others would have faltered. Jesus, throughout his earthly journey, faced tempestuous storms, painful rejections, and profound betrayals, yet he never once permitted his faith to waver. He embodied the principle of unwavering conviction in the face of immense adversity. And you? How much of your inherent faith is actively engaged and vibrant in this precise moment? How much of your life is being constructed from the rock-solid conviction that you were born not merely to exist, but to transcend limitations and to triumph magnificently? If you currently feel that your faith has been dormant, perhaps weakened or overshadowed by the relentless onslaught of life's challenging circumstances, be absolutely certain that it is entirely possible to rekindle its flame. Faith, much like a muscle, gains strength and grows significantly through consistent exercise. The more diligently you practice and apply it, the more robust and resilient it will undeniably become. Carnegie's methods of confronting fears through preparation and action are precisely how one exercises this muscle of faith, turning abstract belief into tangible results. Awakening. Dormant faith. An inner journey, the profound transformation that you ardently yearn for does not reside in the external world. It invariably commences and flourishes within the very core of your being. Just as a diligent farmer meticulously sows a seed, implicitly trusting in a bountiful future harvest, even without immediately witnessing the nascent sprout, you too must in this very moment sow the thoughts, the words, and the actions that will meticulously construct the life you deeply desire. And this entire magnificent process begins with a single, unshakable decision, the profound decision to believe. To believe that it is indeed possible, to believe that it is inherently deserved, to believe that it is ultimately inevitable for anyone who steadfastly persists with genuine faith. True faith is not fragile or delicate. On the contrary, it is remarkably firm and resolute. It does not engage in negotiations with fear. Instead, it boldly advances despite its presence. If, until this very moment, you have allowed doubts and insecurities to ruthlessly plunder your dreams, this is the pivotal instant for a radical change. This is the opportune moment to declare, both to yourself and to the universe, with an unyielding voice, "My faith creates my future." Dale Carnegie's entire philosophy can be seen as a practical guide to awakening this dormant faith within individuals. He taught that building self-confidence, overcoming worry, and developing persuasive communication are all acts of cultivating an inner belief system that then manifests in external success. Carnegie didn't just tell people to believe, he provided actionable steps to build that belief, piece by piece. For instance, his advice on public speaking wasn't about magically eliminating fear, but about preparing thoroughly, organizing thoughts clearly, and then stepping forward with conviction, an exercise in acting as if you are confident, which eventually builds genuine confidence, faith. Prepare yourself, for in the ensuing moments, we shall delve deeply into the closely guarded secrets that the greatest achievers throughout history meticulously applied to erect formidable empires, to pioneer groundbreaking innovations, and to miraculously transform what once seemed utterly impossible into a tangible reality. The inherent strength that you require is already undeniably yours. Now is the crucial time to awaken it, to activate your potent creative faith, because the life you so fervently aspire to begins with the unwavering belief that resonates throughout your entire being. And today, you will learn to truly believe with every fiber of your existence. This journey of belief, as Carnegie would affirm, is not merely about positive thinking. It's about purposeful action, driven by a cultivated conviction. Creative faith, beyond mere belief. Now that you have profoundly grasped that faith serves as the undeniable force responsible for forging reality, it is imperative to delve even deeper into its intricate mechanisms. What does it genuinely signify to activate faith as a creative force? Creative faith transcends the simplistic notion of merely believing that circumstances will improve. It involves the meticulous construction within your very core of a certainty so remarkably solid, so vividly alive, so utterly unshakable, that it begins to intricately mold your patterns of thought, your emotional responses, your decision-making processes, and, consequently, the very fabric of your reality. Dale Carnegie masterfully described this dynamic, perhaps not using the exact phrase creative faith, but certainly articulating its underlying principles through his emphasis on the power of the human mind and conviction. He might have stated it as, all that the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Observe closely. It is insufficient merely to conceive an idea. It is absolutely indispensable to believe in it, and not a fragile, tenuous belief, riddled with doubts, but a profound, resonant faith that silently yet powerfully echoes within you. It is mine. It is already real. It is accomplished. This is precisely the caliber of faith that transmutes ephemeral dreams into concrete achievements. And the Bible powerfully confirms this. Everything is possible for one who believes. Mark 9:23. Creative. Faith does not passively await, it actively anticipates. It savors the sweet taste of victory even before the battle has been conclusively won. When you believe with absolute conviction, your brain initiates a profound alignment, working synergistically in your favor. Your focus sharpens with remarkable clarity. Your innovative ideas proliferate exponentially, and your actions automatically align themselves with your deep-seated beliefs. You begin to conduct yourself as one who has already triumphed, and with the passage of time, the external reality meticulously conforms itself to your internal reality. Carnegie's examples of successful individuals are replete with instances of this principle in action. The struggling orator who transformed into a compelling speaker by diligently practicing and believing in his message. The timid salesperson who became a top performer by cultivating genuine interest in others and believing in the value of their product. Their success was not accidental. It was a direct manifestation of their cultivated belief and the corresponding actions. Action as the indispensable companion to faith. Consider the great achievers throughout history, many of whom Dale Carnegie used as case studies in his teachings on success and influence. Steve Jobs, for instance, envisioned a technological revolution long before he launched the first iPhone, a vision he passionately shared and instilled in his team. Thomas Edison already saw cities illuminated while he failed hundreds of times in his relentless pursuit of inventing the electric light bulb. Walt Disney believed so fervently in his empire of dreams that he continued drawing and creating even when banks dismissed him as a mad visionary. These individuals shared a common and profound characteristic, an active, persistent, and unyielding creative faith. They perceived what no one else could, and as a direct consequence, they created what no one else had ever imagined possible. True faith fundamentally alters your posture, your energy, and your unwavering determination. It does not magically eliminate challenges. Rather, it empowers you with the sheer force and resilience to courageously traverse through them. However, a crucial point of caution: creative faith is not a mere illusion. It is not about passively sitting on your sofa, idly expecting miracles to fall from the sky. Genuine faith demands aligned action, as the Bible is unequivocally clear in James 2:17. Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. This profound statement signifies that believing without taking corresponding action is akin to meticulously planting a seed and then neglecting to water it, leaving it to wither and die. Faith serves as the potent engine, but action is the indispensable fuel that propels it forward. When you seamlessly unite a living faith with consistent, purposeful action, you unleash an unconquerable force. You transform into an individual who not only dreams but actively builds, who not only wishes but concretely realizes. It is precisely at this juncture that the majority of people falter. They embrace belief for a fleeting moment, and then, when confronted with the inevitable difficulties, they succumb, allowing doubt to insidiously infiltrate their minds. Doubt stands as the most formidable adversary of creative faith. As Jesus poignantly asked Peter when he began to sink while attempting to walk on water, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Matthew 14:31. Peter began his extraordinary feat brimming with faith, literally walking on the impossible. But the very moment he allowed his attention to shift towards the fear-inducing wind and waves, he succumbed to doubt and began to sink. This analogy perfectly mirrors life's experiences. As long as your faith remains steadfastly focused on victory, you will advance confidently over turbulent waters. But when your mind gravitates towards fear, you will inevitably sink. Doubt corrosively erodes the strength of faith, and without faith, there is no true creation, merely the repetitive reenactment of old, limiting patterns. The silent adversaries of creative faith. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to diligently nourish your faith on a daily basis. Dale Carnegie would likely emphasize the importance of mental diet and the constant cultivation of positive thought patterns. He advised, in essence, to feed your mind only with images, thoughts, and emotions that are in harmony with the future you wish to create. This profound counsel implies that every single piece of information you consume, be it news, casual conversations, entertainment, is actively molding your faith, for better or for worse. If you habitually feed your mind with negative reports, pessimistic commentary, and debilitating defeatist thoughts, you are, in essence, poisoning your faith. Conversely, if you consciously choose to nourish your mind with empowering teachings, with inspiring stories of triumph over adversity, with positive affirmations, and with spiritual nourishment, you will relentlessly fortify your faith until it becomes an unshakable fortress. Consider the pervasive influence of the environment. Surrounding yourself with cynical individuals who perpetually doubt, incessantly complain, and exclusively dwell in the realm of scarcity will insidiously erode your faith without you even realizing it. The Bible sagely warns us, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. If you are consistently subjected to words of defeat, of fear, of limitation, your faith will inexorably begin to wane. It is absolutely crucial to safeguard your environment with the same meticulous care and seriousness with which a gardener protects a precious garden from destructive pests. Just as a diligent farmer erects fences and takes measures to shield his crops from predators, you must meticulously encircle your mind with everything that actively strengthens your faith. Positive affirmations, uplifting literature, relationships that genuinely propel you forward, and information that profoundly inspires. Cultivating faith like a muscle. Faith, much like a well-developed muscle, demands consistent cultivation. It necessitates diligent training, regular exercise, and continuous expansion. How then does one achieve this in a practical sense? Begin by posing a fundamental question to yourself. What do I truly believe in today? Are my current beliefs propelling me forward, or are they holding me back and limiting my potential? Are my actions genuinely aligned with the life I ardently desire to create? If your honest introspection reveals a disconcerting misalignment, then the time for change is unequivocally now. It is the opportune moment to declare, with unwavering conviction and resounding force, "My faith creates my future," and to immediately commence acting in accordance with this powerful declaration. Remember this profound truth. You cannot expect to harvest a life teeming with success if you are perpetually sowing seeds of doubt in your mind. You cannot genuinely experience abundance while your faith remains deeply rooted in uncertainty. The Bible profoundly teaches, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." Matthew 9:29. This implies that what you receive from life is not merely a product of casual wishes, but rather a direct consequence of what you believe with unwavering conviction. You are, in essence, the architect of your own reality, and the fundamental building material for this creation is faith. Therefore, from this day forward, consciously resolve to nourish your spirit with boundless hope. Meticulously visualize your impending triumphs, audaciously declare your victories even in the face of daunting obstacles, and deliberately act as one who has already received the blessing. True faith transforms every fleeting thought into purposeful action, every intentional action into a beneficial habit, and every consistent habit into your destined reality. And unequivocally believe this: when you operate with genuine faith, doors miraculously open, paths previously obscured become clearly revealed, and what once appeared to be impossible transforms into merely a temporary, surmountable challenge. Your faith possesses the inherent power to completely redesign the very landscape of your life. It holds the immense potential to forge a future overflowing with profound fulfillment, boundless abundance, and magnificent realization. The inherent strength is already undeniably within you. Now is the time to actively utilize it. The antidotes against fear and doubt. If faith is the very force that molds reality, then what could possibly be more perilous than allowing this transformative power to be insidiously sabotaged? The stark truth is that many individuals do not fail due to a lack of inherent capability or a dearth of available opportunities. They falter because they permit silent, insidious enemies to relentlessly corrode their faith even before it has had a chance to blossom. Today, we will meticulously identify these formidable adversaries and, more crucially, learn how to decisively conquer them. The first, and perhaps the most lethal of these enemies, is fear. Dale Carnegie, in his profound and widely acclaimed works on overcoming worry and developing self-confidence, was unequivocally clear in asserting that fear is the chief enemy that we must face before achieving any great accomplishment. Fear paralyzes. Fear breeds insidious doubt, and fear compels you to relentlessly question your capabilities, your worthiness, and the very possibility of your aspirations. The Bible, echoing this timeless wisdom, repeatedly warns against its debilitating influence. In 2 Timothy 1:7, it is written, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Fear does not originate from a divine source. It is, rather, the potent tool that systematically sabotages dreams long before they have had the chance to fully take shape. Reflect on the countless occasions you have refrained from taking action due to fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of loss, the fear of the unknown. Each instance you succumb to fear, you are actively draining the vital energy that should be diligently fueling your faith. And where fear takes root and flourishes, faith invariably withers and dies. Overcoming doubt and procrastination. The second potent adversary of faith is doubt. Doubt is akin to a hairline crack in the fundamental foundation of a magnificent construction. If left unaddressed and uncorrected swiftly, it will inevitably compromise the entire structural integrity. Peter, as he courageously walked on water, bequeathed to us an eternal lesson. As long as his gaze remained steadfastly fixed on Jesus, as long as he diligently nurtured his faith, he performed the impossible. However, the very moment he diverted his attention to the wind and the tumultuous waves, he succumbed to doubt and began to sink. Jesus then poignantly inquired, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Matthew 14:31. Doubt insidiously weakens the mind, interminably postpones crucial decisions, and mercilessly transforms promising opportunities into bitter frustrations. The third silent enemy of faith is procrastination. Many individuals manage to nourish their faith for a few fleeting days, only to then indefinitely postpone taking decisive action. They rationalize with thoughts like, "I'll start tomorrow," "I'll wait for the perfect moment," or "I need to be more prepared." But procrastination is a deceptive illusion. It stealthily kills dreams, silently, one day at a time. Dale Carnegie sagely warned, procrastination is the hidden assassin of opportunity. The perfect moment will never come. True faith acts decisively in the present, even in the face of fear, even amidst uncertainties. Carnegie's methods of developing good habits and taking immediate action are direct antidotes to procrastination, emphasizing that progress comes from consistent effort, not waiting for ideal conditions. The influence of environment and mental reprogramming. There is yet another subtle yet incredibly powerful enemy, the environment. Surrounding yourself with perpetually negative individuals who constantly doubt, incessantly complain, and consistently reside in a mindset of scarcity will insidiously erode your faith without your even realizing it. The Bible sagely warns us, "Do not be deceived, bad company corrupts good character," 1 Corinthians 15:33. If you are continually exposed to words of defeat, of fear, and of limitation, your faith will inevitably begin to weaken. It is absolutely crucial to safeguard your environment with the same meticulous care and unwavering seriousness with which a diligent gardener protects a precious garden from destructive pests. Just as a meticulous farmer erects fences and implements strategies to shield his crops from predators, you must meticulously encircle your mind with everything that actively strengthens your faith. Positive affirmations, intellectually stimulating books, relationships that genuinely propel you forward, and information that profoundly inspires and uplifts. How then does one effectively conquer these formidable enemies of faith in a practical sense? The answer resides firmly in three fundamental pillars: mind reprogramming, consistent action, and environmental protection. Every single day, you must diligently feed your mind with potent, empowering affirmations, not merely empty repetitions, but declarations imbued with profound emotion and unwavering conviction. Examples include, "My faith is unshakable, I am worthy of the life I desire, and every step I take brings me closer to my fulfillment." The Bible teaches that faith comes by hearing, Romans 10:17. Therefore, daily exposure to words of life, faith and victory is absolutely fundamental. This aligns perfectly with Dale Carnegie's emphasis on self-talk and consciously controlling one's thoughts to overcome worry and build confidence. He understood that what you repeatedly tell yourself becomes your reality. Consistent action and environmental protection. Faith without action is a dead concept. You absolutely must act, even in the absence of explicit guarantees. You need to take courageous steps, even if the entire path is not yet fully visible. With each small, deliberate action taken with faith, you reinforce your intrinsic belief in your own capabilities, and faith, when consistently nurtured by action, grows exponentially. Actively distance yourself from toxic environments. Reduce the time you spend with negative individuals. Increase your engagement with people who genuinely believe in growth, in overcoming challenges, and in achieving great things. Remember this crucial truth. You invariably become similar to the people with whom you spend the most time. If you desire strong faith, associate with those who possess strong faith, and above all, never ever underestimate the profound influence of your daily thoughts. Dale Carnegie eloquently articulated this by stating, "You become what you think about most of the time." If your thoughts are predominantly consumed by fear, doubt, and scarcity, you will inevitably reap a harvest of fear, doubt, and scarcity. Conversely, if your thoughts are primarily focused on faith, victory, and abundance, you will, without fail, gather a harvest of faith, victory, and abundance. This is a law as immutable as the law of gravity itself. So in this very moment, make a conscious, deliberate choice. Choose to focus on the boundless possibilities, not on the limiting constraints. Choose to act despite your fears, rather than passively waiting for them to magically dissipate. Choose to believe that the very best is still yet to come, and actively walk towards it. The strength of your faith will undoubtedly be tested, but it will also be profoundly strengthened with every challenge you successfully overcome. The great men and women throughout history were not exempt from difficulties. They simply made the unwavering decision that their beliefs would be greater and more powerful than their fears. And you too possess the inherent capacity to make that same transformative choice. The next phase of our journey will illuminate how to consolidate this creative faith into daily habits that transform mere thought into tangible reality, and that reality into extraordinary achievements. Because in the end, the ultimate battle is not against the external world. The true, most significant battle has always been waged within you, and he who conquers within inevitably conquers without, consolidating creative faith into daily habits. Now, that you thoroughly understand the profound power of faith as a creative force, the crucial question arises: how do we apply all of this knowledge in our daily lives in a practical and definitive manner? The answer, while seemingly simple, is far more profound than you might imagine. Creative faith manifests itself every single day, in the smallest of choices, in the quietest of thoughts, in the words that you utter, and in the purposeful actions that you undertake. The first key to cultivating an active faith is to think with faith. Your thoughts are potent seeds. Every thought imbued with victory, with hope, with abundance, is a seed carefully sown into the fertile soil of your mind. By the same token, every thought rooted in fear, doubt, or scarcity is a noxious weed that demands immediate uprooting. Dale Carnegie echoed this sentiment throughout his work, emphasizing that it isn't what you have, or who you are, or where you are, or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about it. He asserted that the human mind translates into its physical reality any thought of a dominant nature that is emotionalized and mixed with faith. In other words, what you feel and believe with intense conviction, you inevitably experience in your life. Therefore, Diligently train your mind daily to think as one who has already triumphed. When a doubt arises, immediately counter it with a powerful affirmation of faith. When anxiety strikes, take a deep breath and vividly visualize the victory. You do not need to possess all the answers to act with faith. You merely need to decide that your mind will serve as a temple of empowering beliefs, not a repository of paralyzing fears. The power of words and intentional action. The second crucial key is to speak with faith. Words possess an inherent creative power. The Bible teaches in Proverbs 18:21, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." What you consistently declare with conviction shapes your atmosphere, your energy, and your very future. Cease uttering phrases like, "I can't do it," "That's impossible for me," or "I'll never succeed." Instead, begin to declare with authority, "I am capable. The impossible is merely the next step for my faith. I am actively creating my new reality." Speak as one who is already on the path to victory, not as one who laments defeat. Every word spoken with faith is like a foundational stone meticulously placed in the construction of your future. Dale Carnegie would emphasize the power of positive self-talk and public speaking, not just as communication tools, but as ways to reinforce one's own beliefs and persuade oneself of one's capabilities. The third key is to act with faith. Faith, without corresponding actions, is a lifeless concept. Genuine faith translates into intentional, purposeful action. Begin with small daily actions that are precisely aligned with the life you ardently desire to create. If you seek prosperity, start by organizing your finances with wisdom and discipline. If you desire vibrant health, begin today with small, healthy choices. If you aspire to professional growth, commence by studying and diligently applying new knowledge. Do not passively wait for perfect conditions to materialize. Act today with the resources you currently possess and with the faith that you already hold. Every single step taken in faith generates new pathways, unveils new possibilities, and sets in motion new miracles. Carnegie's entire methodology for success revolved around taking action, setting goals, preparing, and then executing, understanding that action diminishes fear and builds confidence. Gratitude as an amplifier of faith. And there is an additional, often overlooked, yet absolutely essential ingredient for consolidating creative faith: gratitude. Gratitude serves as the profound amplifier of faith. The Bible teaches in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." When you express gratitude, even before witnessing the tangible result, you are unequivocally declaring, "I already believe, I have already received." Dale Carnegie also observed this powerful phenomenon in his studies of successful individuals. He recognized that the consistent habit of gratitude releases potent forces that work in favor of those who practice it. Begin today with a simple yet profoundly transformative exercise. Every morning, write down 5 specific things for which you are genuinely grateful. Every evening, express gratitude for the victories of the day, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant they may be. Gratitude actively shifts your mindset from a focus on scarcity to a focus on abundance. It aligns you with the very frequency of achievement. It profoundly reinforces your faith and consequently creates a virtuous cycle of continuous growth. Now, seamlessly integrate all of these elements. Think with faith, speak with faith, act with faith, and be profoundly grateful with faith. And you will witness your reality transform before your very eyes. Not because external circumstances have magically changed, but because you have fundamentally changed. And when you undergo an internal transformation, the entire universe responds accordingly. As Jesus said in Mark 11:24, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Faith does not wait to see in order to believe. It believes, and therefore it sees. The profound truth is that the life you so ardently desire already exists in the invisible realm, merely awaiting your strong enough belief to bring it into tangible manifestation. You are not a helpless victim of destiny. You are the active co-creator of your own future. The power resides and has always resided within you. Now is the opportune moment to fully embrace this power. Now is the time to declare with every fiber of your conviction, "My faith creates my future." So, we've journeyed through the incredible power that lies dormant within each of us, the power of faith. Not just as a fleeting hope, but as a vibrant, creative force that sculpts your reality. We've seen how figures like those Dale Carnegie admired didn't just wish for success. They believed in it, acted on it, and shaped their world. We've uncovered the silent enemies, fear, doubt, and procrastination, that try to steal your dreams, and learned how to fight back by reprogramming your mind, taking consistent action, and protecting your environment. The truth is, the life you've always yearned for isn't some distant fantasy. It exists right now, in the unseen, waiting for you to unleash the power of your belief, to bring it into tangible form. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your destiny. The strength, the vision, the ability to overcome. It's all within you, ready to be awakened. Now it's time to act. It's time to declare, not just to yourself, but to the universe, that my faith creates my future. If you're ready to truly unlock this power, to transform your thoughts into actions, and your actions into the life you deserve, then here's your call to action. Take the first step today. Choose one small area of your life where doubt has held you back. Now, with the conviction we've talked about, decide to believe in your ability to succeed there. Then take one tiny intentional action towards that belief. Whether it's making that difficult phone call, starting that project you've postponed, or simply affirming your worth in the mirror, begin. Your future isn't a gift, it's a creation. Are you ready to create the future you truly desire?